my city, my city, my city.
My name is Mark, my friend Pastor Musimi, and today I want to talk about the issue of gambling, and I think it would be helpful for us to look at the state of gambling in our nation at this time. I don't know, what would be your biblical response to this, and just trying to see whether we could try and chart a way forward on this one.
All right, so I think one of the reasons we need to be very concerned as a society in general and as Christians specifically, especially Christians who have been engaging in this issue. One big reason is the whole question of stewardship of the resources that God has given us. I think it is clear that gambling is very poor stewardship of God-given resources. Because what you're doing is you're taking something that God has given you and you are throwing it into blind chance in the hopes that you will get a huge return. And I think that's a very unwise way of going about stewardship. I don't think God would approve of that. The scriptures never encourage this kind of behavior.
So the first one here, there's an issue about stewardship.
Poor stewardship.
Poor stewardship. I don't know, do you have a second one?
I think a second one is the question of how gambling diminishes the value of hard work.
Yeah, I agree.
mean, the scriptures call us to an ethic of hard work. The Bible does not, the Bible discourages wealth that is hastily gotten. It sprouts wings and it flies away. So the gambler, by his actions, is showing that he doesn't value hard work, and he would rather resort to blind chance to get returns, money. So it's a kind of a shortcut way of trying to achieve what God has said you can only achieve through hard work.
I like that point. When you talk about the place of reducing the value of hard work, I think there's an after effect that has on the society. I think we develop a people who they want something out of nothing. Something is off with that. That there's no investment that is put to produce a commensurate profit. You go at it and hoping that by chance I'll get something. I think it's not just that. I think you can go on even talk about how a society, people begin to imagine that those who become wealthy, they got it by luck, not hard work. It's not a game of chance and luck. There are people who are actually out here who are wealthy and they got it out of hard work. I think the other one is envy. You not only think that people got it by luck, but you actually become envious. And you somehow want to even come at what they have and with an entitled mind that we need to share. And even think about a society where there are more consumers than producers.
If all we are is consumers, and we do not want to produce, the very next thing that will happen is that we will implode upon ourselves, because people want something that they are not willing to create.
And I think more on this, maybe anyone who might be interested might want to check out a guy called Wayne Grudem. He's done some fantastic work on the biblical view of work and how work finds dignity in God himself being a worker and entrusting us with that privilege as human beings. But anyway, we've looked at those two. Do you probably have a final one? Then we close.
I think a third one, which touches close to the hearts of many people, is the fact that gambling leads to addiction. The more you do it, and the more the people who provide these services, they keep throwing something at you, the more you're pulled in and you're sucked into that system and that way of thinking and that feeling of chance, that thrill of, I could get a lot, I could get $1 million, I could get, you get so caught up in that, eventually you realize that you're addicted. The thing you started having control over is now having control over you. You started with small amounts of money, and before long you're wagering big amounts of money, and before long you're taking your children's school fees.
Imagine.
And throwing it again into blind chance in the hopes that somehow you will get something. And that's how you know you're addicted, when you seemingly you no longer have any control over that. And the scriptures tell us that we are not to be mastered by anything. We are to watch out that we are not mastered by anything. And I think a good text to reflect on is in 1 Timothy chapter 6, which says that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. The love of money. At root, the reason why many people are gambling is because they suffer from the love of money. And the more you indulge yourself in the love of money, you're very near to the root of all kinds of evil.
I think our desire and our hope is that we'll be able to engage in a bit more robust discussions on how to address the crisis level of gambling in our country and our society. For Take 5, this is Pastor Mark and Pastor Musimi. Peace out.
My city, my city.